Math 206 is the math department's attempt to try and improve the success and completion rates in transfer level math. We try and do everything differently and really have an active class, more like a gym than a library.
Math 206 is more of a hands-on kind of math. And so you're actually getting to answer questions that have to do with real-life things that are happening or things that make sense. Intermediate algebra is more like they put a formula on the board and you're supposed to memorize it and then apply it to another formula.
It's for all the other people who want to major in journalism, in history, in art, in music, non-STEM majors, people who are not majoring in the S, science, T, technology, E, engineering, M, mathematics, who really only need one college-level math class to get their degree, but because they have historically been weak in math, this is a huge impediment. I have some students who will come to me and say, I've passed every other course I need to transfer except math. I waited to the end because it was my weakest subject. I was afraid of it. I've struggled with it all my life. And in fact, if I don't pass this class, I won't be able to transfer, even though I've passed everything else. Those are, for me personally, my target audience, is helping those people for whom math was an impediment and is not really a major part of their career. They're just trying to meet that one course requirement.
I'm a words person and a writing kind of person and a reading kind of person. So it was much easier for me because a lot of it was writing and reading. And then some of it, obviously, of course, was math. But it was much easier for me because it wasn't just doing numbers all day. It was reasoning and coming up with different things.
I like it better because it's more interesting to me, just that each problem you're learning something in addition to the formula.
We work with data, we analyze data, we learn how to do it with software. We do things that you've probably never done. Everything is based on real life stories. Things are not just abstract. Does how many cigarettes you smoke per day affect whether or not you get lung cancer? Questions that might potentially be of interest to you across all kinds of subject areas, from economics to nutrition.
Right now what we're doing is correlations, and so that's saying how does a country's wealth impact how many people use a computer there. So it's sort of interesting stuff like that.
You start with the real world problem, and then we do what's called, we remediate just in time, as needed. So where we need to learn how to do something really mathematical, then we introduce it. For instance, an equation of the line, which is hard for people, we introduce also in a completely in a statistical context, and we don't just go off and teach you about the equation of the line by itself and just talk about X and Y and nothing more. Instead, we introduce it in a real world problem.
It leaves a lot more room to reason, and sort of there's more implications than just the equations or the right or wrong answer.
In this introductory class, there's a lot of group work. You can discuss between students what the problem means. If you misinterpret what the instructor says, you can talk to another student.
We've stopped doing just pure lecture where you sit in class silently and just take notes. Instead, it's a very, what we call, student-centered class. We have projects, we have group activities, people are working together. We randomize students so that you work not only with just a few people you might know, but with lots of different people in the class.
If the professor explained it one way, I might not understand it, and working in groups, they'll explain it in a different way. I just catch on right away.
Some people are really logical or math-oriented, and then some people are like science-oriented. Some people are artists. So it was really interesting to see how 4 different people could approach a problem.
Everybody in the group, they're always very kind. They'll slow down if they have to, and they'll make sure every single person gets it perfectly.
Some people who are used to just encountering boards full of equations, x squared plus 3x minus 17y equals z, when they come in and meet this class, they say, this isn't math. It's not what they think of as the traditional math.
In looking at math, the beautiful thing about it is it has a problem. That problem has a definite answer. what has to happen is you have to figure out how do you get from the problem to the answer. And if you understand how the formula works, then you will understand how to get to that answer. And that's what this class did. It breaks down a complicated problem set, gives you the skill set that you need to interpret how these things move forward. And with that information, you can break down any problem.
Some people are misled by the word acceleration. Actually, we've slowed things down. Some people are scared to take the course because it's 5 credit hours and meets 6 hours a week. But that shows how much we've slowed it down. We're trying to give you a lot of time in class, really cover the material very thoroughly.
When you step back and look at it, the difference between 4 hours and 5 hours really isn't that great for an academic journey. Where that extra hour comes in, again, is that attention to detail, where you have that time for the professor to write a problem set on the board, to break it down, and you look at it and see how it moves forward and how each part of that process builds on the next part, and how instrumental it is to learn that particular way of thinking.
I would have never been prepared for Math 13 if it weren't for Math 206. There's no way that I would have even known what was going on. I would have been so lost. This just gets you really ready for just the kind of vocabulary you're going to hear and the kind of problems you're going to come across. So I would definitely recommend taking Math 206 before 13.
Students who come in and have to begin with remedial math at 201, which is elementary algebra, the data shows that only 20% of them are able to get through all the remedial courses and the transfer level course, which is statistics. That's a total of 3 courses that they have to complete. And that 20% is really low. 206 said, how can we improve on that? And can we improve on it? And we did. We've doubled the completion rate. We've limited the amount of algebra to just the amount of algebra you need to ultimately pass statistics, which really is not an algebra-laden course. The administration and the math department's goal is to expand the number of sections because of the success in increasing the completion rates. My goal is to get 100% of the people to complete. We hope to offer more of it here, and we hope as time goes on there will be more of it at the other campuses.
I am encouraging anyone who is thinking about taking a math course to get through to the next level, this would be the one you want to take.
Thank you for watching Academic Excellence on Peralta News. Like your future at the Peralta Colleges.